Hi, my name is Will Strouse. I'm a principal analytics consultant and the Sigma tech lead here at phData, and I'm super excited about Ask Sigma. I've been playing with it for a little while now, and I just wanted to make a quick video showing some of the features, walk you through the interface, and some of the capabilities within the tool. So I'm going to go ahead and share that screen. And what you're going to see here is I've taken, here, let me go out of the preview and we'll go into edit here. So I've just taken the URL for the the Ask Sigma interface from the training environment that we have here at work, and I embedded it into a workbook because I wanted to show you some of the contextual data that I'm going to be using. So let's go back to preview this by Explore. So the data source tables, I have these all pointed to this series of, it's a schema that we have created from our mock data tool at phData, which is really cool. It helps us create fake data sources for all the different demos and training and enablement stuff that we're trying to do. So in this case, we have all this really rich data that we've created specifically for manufacturing use cases. So there's all these different tables, all these different join keys, all these different starting points that you could go to. And maybe I'm coming in with just some simple questions. So I see this employee master table there, and I just am wondering, hey, I'm a new manager or executive with a company, and I want to ask who are the longest tenured employees. Actually, you know what? I want to ask who are the longest tenured active employees. So I'm going to put in this simple question. Let's run the prompt. Right now, it's hunting for the data sources. Look, it found the right one. This is good. I want to make sure that it was getting to the right source. Again, one of my, the favorite thing of mine about this tool is that it's an open book. It shows you the process that it's going to. And if you're doing multiple calculations, multiple aggregations, group by statements, blending, whatever, it's always going to pick the most efficient path. So this is a great training tool for modeling and what is the best order of operations when you're building calculations, when you're doing those aggregations. I have a habit of always building child tables. I like making these pit stops that effectively create CTEs within the underlying SQL, and it makes the overall query on top of, in the platform, much less complex by splitting it up. This view does exactly the same thing. So it takes this employee master table, it's filtering the status to just those who are active. Again, I didn't tell it to look for the status table, I just said active, and it found it in the underlying data. It did a calculation, a date difference calculation, to calculate the tenure. Right now it has it in years. And for the top one, here's my employees that have 7 years tenure. I want to, as a new manager or VP coming in, I want to reach out to these people first and say, hey, tell me about the history. Tell me about what's going on here. So a really simple question, a very detailed answer. Let's do that again, because there's some other things that are interesting here too. So let me go back into the source tables. Something with values. Budgets. Of course. You have budgeted costs, you have actual costs. It'd be really quick in Sigma for me to go and make a table, a quick calculation to differentiate the two, put in some consideration for the cost category. But let me just ask the question. So I'm going to go to Ask Sigma, let the prompt load. And I'm going to type in the question here. What is the monthly difference between budgeted costs and actual costs for the last 3 years? So again, what it's doing is it's splitting apart the logical groupings of words within the sentence, and it's going to walk me through the path from data table. Great. It picked the right data table. Financial cost accounting. There's my budgeted and actual costs. So it's finding those fields that I was looking for. Boom, just ripped through a bunch of calculations here. So the first thing we did is it automatically calculated that monthly difference between the budgeted costs and actual costs. Perfect, it gives me that calculation right here. It also adds in a year in terms of the date part because I told it last 3 years. So it's filtering. Again, it knew it had to do this next step, but it split it into 2 steps in the SQL. Now, there's some charts and some information that's down here. This is cool, but maybe I just want to go jump into a workbook. I can do that here. Now, I was trying to trick Ask Sigma. I was trying to give it a complicated question, and it actually figured it out. So I want to show you that example. This will be my last one. I wanted to make this a quick video because I was just so excited about the tool, and I can't wait to keep playing with it up until we get to Summit. So I noticed as I was looking through the inspection data, the quality inspections, that there were these sort of nonsensical combinations of entries. So there were some passes that had major defects, and there were also some fails where the note said that they were okay. Now, again, I know this is mock data, but there's a little bit of dishonesty in all of our data. When we're doing behavioral analytics in particular, sometimes people pencil whip their notes. They don't keep everything updated. Anybody who's worked on a project with JIRA tickets knows not everybody feels about the same way. So let me ask it a multiple part question and see if it can break down the exceptions that I'm giving it. So what I want to find is I want to create a table of these outlier cases where which inspectors pass products with a major defect in the notes or fail products with okay in the notes. And just to make sure I would be sure, I put that, well, what should be in the note field, in the note text in that field, in quotes so we could really pick it out. So let me ask this question. Sigma's noodling on it. Already found the table that I wanted it to pick from. Again, picking out something really cool here. I said which inspectors. It just knew to go with it, figured out to go with the individual inspector IDs. But here's the really cool part. It built these if statements within the workbook that had opposing logic. So if the result equals pass and contains notes major defect. You could have wrote this if statement 100 different ways, but what I love is it picked the most efficient one in terms of the SQL. It put it in the most efficient order of operations. And then it exercised or it activated the filters so that the relevant inspections were always true. So this is giving me, okay, it passed with a major defect, it failed with okay, it is within that field. These charts down here are interesting and they certainly tell this story of how many there are. But this is something where I know I'm going to end up using this as a data source. I would like call this my notes pencil whipping report. I open this up and now I'm exploring it in Sigma and building a workbook and going on with my analysis. So again, my name is Will Strouse. Please feel free to reach out to us here at phData if you have any questions about Ask Sigma. I love all the new AI features in Sigma. We love AI at phData, and we love the way that we're able to integrate it across all of our tools, ultimately making our lives easier, making us more productive, making our SQL more efficient, and then that makes everything optimized and more performant. So thank you again, and check us out anytime for more Sigma info. Bye.